Okay, I'm going to pep myself up here, and we're going to have our 76th IWAR Workshop, Gold Strategy Workshop. Michael Cook is here, our IWA Strat Guru, and I am Matt Riley. I am the host, and mostly awake. So
Mhm.
I've had a very fun day. I think I mentioned earlier I had to go to a friend. A friend of mine had his kidney transplant a few weeks ago. We were on a Saturday night. We were going to play some late night like hell divers, and he's like, "I can't play. I got to go to the hospital tomorrow." So he got the kidney. He only waited like almost 8 years, so it's good to have it happen. But he's got like you know uh, assorted issues. So I had to go make an errand run to him, and then I got home and like got to stop at my friend's house. My friend and his wife and his kids are away in Bermuda, so I'm checking their mail for him. And I go to work tomorrow at 4:30
4:30. That's
in the morning.
we'll make this short then.
Well, I think it works in our favor in a way because there's not a lot of options. So we'll see what
Right.
happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but yeah, at the end there's not going to be that many.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, if we can go over the front and show why that's the case
Now, can you make this any bigger? I've
on
gotten
my
greedy.
screen. Are we
Well,
talking
like
like this? How's that?
there you go. That's fun. Yeah, because a couple of our nearsighted members were like, "Yeah," well, and the screen caption very good. So
Yeah,
I adjusted the settings. Hopefully, it'll be bigger this time, and it'll work. And we'll go
yeah. I tend to have to look at a lot of stuff at work, so yeah, I've gotten used to that smaller
from there. Yeah,
just because I need to see more. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Uh, so we get to mark off 29-28 because of last cycle's gold,
Mm-hmm.
29-27 because of still,
Yep.
iron 29-26. So this is one of those cycles where everything that marks something off marks off four options,
Yeah.
and it goes down quick. 2 cycles ago in gold was 27-26, so that's another four. And we can have our quick conversation we always do. What about the doubles?
What about the
7 to go on 28. The last two times have been, was it like 38, 40, 33, 40, something like that. Uh, no reason to take that again. And then we know we're already at 3 for the year, so it's going to be really surprising to see a fourth. So we can go ahead and cross these two off. Puts us down to just 8 front options. Not bad at all there. And the other good thing, you see, every combination is going to have a 28 drop in it. So if you can pick that, you basically cut them in half. We'll look at that in a minute.
Yeah. Crazy.
So 8 fronts. The bad thing is, though, technically all 16 backs are a possible combination. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
More there than the front. We had the, iron 41, still 42. So I can't quite do the follow what's just happened.
Right.
And if you look back, it has really become a mixture between, if the first two split, what we'll have here. See, it went with what still had. Then it was still again there, and then iron and iron. So, I mean, out of the last four, it's 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Because that, we can go back to some of our sort of golden rules, is if you don't know which one it's going to be, go with the 41, because at worst it's a 42.
Right.
Typically the other is going to be a 43, so you'll have a better chance of being a star versus a 494 if it
Right.
you know goes in your favor. Just you may lose out on that small chance of 499 500.
And of course, the harder part when we don't have 90 at 43 or 44
Yep,
is figuring
you
out
get
those
all four
ones.
here. Hmm.
It,
um, One other thing on the 42s or 41s, you see it's been three in a row. Three or more happens a few times here, but it's not common to see that. It's actually only been twice the whole time, but yeah, I feel like a 41. It's a little safer
Mhm.
and kind of bet against that. You shouldn't get a fourth in a row of these. If you do that, then you have the 8 fronts and only 8 backs. So I'd call it. Well, it is a coin flip. I just like
Right.
this side better. So then we know it's more likely that it's going to be the 45 1 and 2, and that's because this one is hold 90.
Right.
So that's how I'd put the end just to get the likely better flow. All right, and then we have the 4 options between our 44s and 43s. I hadn't really looked this over, so let's think on this a minute. I think it's just a coincidence, but these 5 cycles look just like these.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You know
we'll
what
call that
happened
a
there?
coincidence.
Oh
The
my
next
God.
one was the opposite. It switched to the 2 and the 1. So if that happens, we'll say we saw it the whole time. All right, let's go look at a couple of these. All right, so the last 44s.
Yikes. 85.
Mhm. Yeah, 85 really just got on track recently.
Yeah.
So it could just fall off again or not.
Right.
But I'm trying to think, it's not really ever. I'm assuming that means they need this one enlarged too, right? There we go.
Yeah. Somewhere Mike is going. Not that he was the only one, but he was consistent. He was the most consistent.
What size screen are they looking at? Because this one's 32 inches.
Well, I was
So
actually I went and I screen grabbed and widened it out, and it was still blurry. And I was like, okay, I got to improve the quality because it's not just about like the sharpness. It's Ah, hope he didn't take Minnesota. Anyways, just
I haven't.
just
I
looked
forgot
up.
all about it today. So it
Yeah,
wasn't worth
so
watching.
did the
Okay.
Timberwolves.
It throws me when they get to where there's not a game on certain days, and then I just forget to even watch.
Uh,
That's I
being
don't care
here,
a ton about it, so
being here in Celtics country, we really hope to see a good game, and they win it all. Uh,
you don't really want that.
well, I wouldn't mind it, but it'd be final like validation. But I also, if the Mavericks won, I'd be like, good for Luca. I like when a franchise that hasn't won wins. It's always good for their fan base. I always say it's a thing where like
But
after
they did win.
Dallas won. Oh yeah, when they win.
Yeah, yeah, he won one. So there.
Screw
I
those
mean,
guys. Celtics,
that's 10 years ago, wasn't it?
yeah,
Is it
it's
2013?
like another
Yeah, something like
lifetime.
that. Yeah, yeah, he
Screw those
got
guys.
one.
Then no, I hate
Right, they've
Kyrie,
won
so
enough.
Mr. Flat Earth. So that's all right. All right. So now that we've gone back and improved our quality of vision here, you can see
Mhm.
where the 83, 85 conundrum is.
Yep.
And
So you got a hold here that's just been terrible for years, and it finally had its first 45. And I mean, this is easily like 40 cycles, and uh, yeah. So I don't know what this really means. If it's just falling back off, or if it's just
mhm.
the one and it's a decent hold now. Is
I
what
got a good
seems to
question
have
from Catfish
Mhm.
Rob, by the way.
Yep.
An actually good question. Not a question about us being luchadors or impersonating wrestlers. The question was for the show tonight, what number in gold has hit 25 the most times in a year in the past 5 years? I don't know if that matters past 5 years, but maybe like in a year, is there any point where like this hole's hit 25 7 times? And they never do it more than 8 times or vice versa? Never really thought about that. That's a good question. Thank you, Rob.
All right.
Hope you're feeling good.
Let's just go back to here. Does that
Yeah.
sound good?
Hmm? Look at this guy pulling the magic. Pulling the magic. Oh my God. This is stuff I should be able to do in Excel, but I'm terrible. 11 times. Oh, look at that. They
Leaving.
hate one.
Is
They
it good or bad to it's bad, so we'll put red. So hold 53 and hold 1. Have done 11.
ah, they hate one the way Darren hates the Von Schnapps.
But even the other ones, so it looks like 59 was the best. Well, no, 22. Yeah, 22, because this goes back to when it was the
Mhm.
best hold.
Yeah.
But there's 8, 8, 9, 9, and 7. So while those two are higher a little bit, looks I'd call that pretty spread out.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a good
You had
question.
2 holds that were better, and those were 2 holds we often didn't cut because they looked better.
Look at
That's
that. All right. I
59.
think I figured it out. 32 did not hit 25 once. Everyone used 32.
Yeah. At
Dude.
first, I was like, "Oh, that one's a 0," and I was like, "Oh, it should be." It wishes it could get to 25.
Yeah. I will say for the sake of if Johnny B and Kim are listening or watching, for the sake of consistency, make sure 32 gets back in rotation when you bring it back up. Just save us all space. Even all is simple. Yeah, I would say that's a good question. Good way to look at it. Just a different way to
Mhm.
look at it. You know, I could say, well, 90 is pretty much the go-to hold in the bottom 5, and 25 is the
Here,
top
let's cut
10.
this down a little just to see.
Uh-oh. Here we go. He's a
Maybe it's that.
madman fan. He's a madman.
Perfect. It was 20.
So
So it's still 1.
would not have guessed 33 was the other one off the top of my head.
Yeah,
It's
and you
funny
see
how like
it's
years
just
later you can be like, oh man, hold number 16 sucks. Like we haven't had 16 as a good hold in this Fed in like 30, 10 years. Ooh.
yeah, even over that range,
Mm,
6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 4. So
mm.
yeah, I don't know if you're gonna if it's not happened, just you may assume it could be a little better. So maybe it's a tiebreaker. But like 5 last 5 been so good.
It almost makes you think about, how long has it been or how
Yeah.
long does it take for a hold to actually kick in and hit 25?
Yeah. But going by the logic of, if it's the actual one that's been, the smallest number on here,
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work because then you just keep going with 5 and losing.
I'm repping Samoan Death Grip. Thank you, Aaron, once again for the shirt, which is very comfy, by the way. It's important. You want a comfy Samoan Death Grip shirt. Yeah, I think, when I think about, it's a good point. Like, I don't ever look at it and go, well, this hole hasn't hit 25 in ages. But it's not a bad thing to think about. I really try to think of like one thing I look at is my nerdy little nuance is let's say
Mhm.
one, right? So one was 27 previously. So I almost always rule out that hold value as repeating
Yeah.
and
I
go,
don't know if that's
okay.
true, but yeah, I do that.
Okay, so like I go, okay, it could be 25,
It,
26, 29, or 30. And then of
yeah.
those, I go, well, is it due to go up, due to go down? And I try to pivot that. And what I do with that theory or approach is when it comes to 9 and 10, I try to look at holes I think will go down to like 26 or 25. And that way I go, okay, well, if I hit 25 and I have 500, I'll take it with the
Mhm.
25 at 10. But alas, I have sloppy strategies. So Senior Lucha's sloppy 501. My God, we're a family show.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I tend to do on a lot of these like what you see with 5. when it goes on a stretch like this, I just recall how 22 was. And so I
Mm-hmm.
try not to bet against it once it gets up to like 7 or 8 in a row. I'll just keep using it until it
Okay.
misses.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we could probably count
Oh,
them over.
yeah.
But, yeah, once you get up to like 7 or 8, you see it usually goes several further than that, at least 4 or 5 more.
Oh no.
When a hold gets good, uh, stays there for a while, and then it just crashes.
Right.
Thank you. The crash of 22. But then it got, it's good again.
Yeah.
That's probably not one I'd really bet on or against very often.
Well,
That's
it's
actually
in
one
the
of
mix
ours
this
too,
time.
isn't it? It's in two of them.
Yeah. So,
So there we go. That's
I mean, 1 and 33 are kind of like the big critical picks here.
yep. Yeah.
Damn you. Damn you, Johnny B.
Yeah. So we've got the 8 fronts. We got the 8 backs if we choose this. So yeah, just doing basically if I said no to hold 22, it goes to 6 there. Yeah, if I could pick, I kind of like using all 8 of the backs on one front, so I'll
Mhm.
probably pick between one of those other 6. I'm just not sure at that point uh, which to really do. That's more of a guess at that point to me.
Mhm.
See, it last occurred 11 cycles ago, and 5 last cycle both were used. This one was steel. This one was bronze. That doesn't help us too much, and we know in this range that it's a similar percentage when you get up to like 5, 6, 7.
Right.
Um, Thins out a little bit, but I think I looked, and I don't think I did it by Fed. I think I just did it overall, but I looked at percent that are 10 or more.
Mhm.
It's like 27% over the past 10 cycles. So you got about a 1 in 4 chance of it happening. It's not bad. The whole, the 225s, the 2 cycles ago,
Mhm.
we finally got a yes again, but I don't trust it to use it because you see it's been
Oh.
basically years since we had 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
gonna be tough to read that for a while,
yeah. Yeah.
but it's good to see one.
It was again, that was the last cycle. I think I don't know if I told this, but the last cycle was and I based this off just my active singles strategies. My greatest
Mhm.
singles like average was 49.7, 497 point, whatever it was. That's the highest I've ever had for my guys. And that was had I think 2 501s and a 500 and a 499. So it was like, good. But for me with running, I think it's 11 single strats now.
Mhm.
I gotta think that through. Actually, not that many. Above me. Lucha Berry. Yeah, about that. About that. That I run, and I have some more tag teams now and whatever, and had the infamous block from Tom.
Yep.
Well,
Never gets any easier.
it was just funny because I'm doing the numbers and I'm like, oh my God. So I did the trifecta first, and I was like, all right, 521. And I looked and I'm like, oh. And then the results came out and I'm like, no, no.
Yeah.
And,
And it's the
and what was funny was I saw like Adam Cash the league title, and I'm like, okay, all right. And Dixon had the battle royal. I'm like, great for Scott. And I'm like, oh, that trio. No, damn you, COT. Damn you to hell. So it's good. And we talked about this before, like when you have like certain limits in leagues and you can like help
Mhm.
diversify your roster that way. It's Aaron, Scott, and myself are the trifecta. So it's like that's a good way to get a trios thing going. And I've always said the BRL for all of its history has really had some really great trios teams, but not a
Mhm.
lot at the same time. So working on that. But yeah, I mean, looking at the front, I think, looking at this going, okay, well, if 33 is not going to drop, that gives you an easy way to go against it if you're going to do that. But if you're not, that's fine too. But the bottom five, the one I always what I agonize over when it comes
Mhm.
to this kind of situation is the 43 and 44s.
Yeah.
Okay, well, 44s we talked about earlier, but 43, 62, and 66. Well, 66 has been pretty moish lately, but we've had 43 too the last two cycles.
Yeah. You see, being the exact same, you don't get three in a row that often.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was trying to get to. I knew this is about the time we started doing this. We had those larger ones then, but yeah, since then there's not
Right.
been one three in a row. So if you want to take that, that eliminate two of the eight you're using. So that's a way to get down to six.
Mm-hmm.
So if you did that, then you can use two fronts if you've got 12 wrestlers.
Oh, good Lord.
You had 11 or 12. Which one did you say? You said 11. How many singles?
Oh, 11. I think it's 11. I mean, I'm gonna bug myself doing this. So, that's uh
That's the other. I like to have even numbers, either 8 or 12.
right,
Uh, Even if like six is fine, but you always have to make one more cut than you want.
right. Oh
So
man. I
if you
don't
have a number of 8 or 12, then I can use the one I like here, use all eight backs, and then the second one I've got to make a decision, just use four of the eight, but
I think of the
cover a lot more.
I think it's unofficially 12. I'm sorry, 10. 10. But two of those are like transitional ones. Like I'm gonna be changing names on them
Mhm.
soon. So uh there's 10 different ones that could have the mix so
So
far.
yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Happy to see this few here, and like I said, make one choice here. You can
Hmm.
cut that if you want, and that's really not bad. That'd be 48 options just starting out, and you got to make like two picks basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And just hope it sticks and hope
Yeah,
that we don't get eight other people with the same exact
yeah.
strategy.
The good thing about this, because 28's in everything,
Hmm.
you're probably just going to miss one out of two, hopefully. And I don't think you'll see as many people with low strats. That should be more middle ground and a few high, I would think,
Right.
when you have a mix like this.
Yeah. It's my worry is that whenever I have a really, really good cycle, like I usually have come back with a big dud. So
Yeah.
that's fun. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. So for our prep, as it were, and I know some people are really eager to someone said they want to use AI to figure this out. So all right, it gets you 501. There you go. Um
I don't think it will.
I know, right? Anything else you think or
No, nothing I can think of.
all right, well, a couple of quick things.
Mhm.
IWAR events at AOL.com is the way to get joined in on the various events, including right now the Summer Series, the King of the Ring 2, the Lethal Lottery Tag Tournament, and the IWAR Draft. And people have been starting to send stuff to us. That's great. But this event, they all start this coming Tuesday. So except for the IWAR Draft, but everything else, just try to get involved. And what we will do is probably Scott and I will record the name polling for the Lethal Lottery Tag Tournament this weekend and post it like right after, or we'll do it live. I don't know. Maybe we'll get Alex involved and make him do a part of it too. Um, don't forget that this coming cycle is IWA's state wrestling.
That's what I was about to ask. Got it.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's not with these matches, right? Next cycle, or
I
I
Sure.
always get.
Hey,
So, do we send those in Tuesday? Because I always like
yes.
to.
Yeah, I could
Okay.
pad your earnings, your wrestlers' earnings. And
Yeah, they talk about wanting a loophole. That's win contest. That's actually probably the
right.
biggest
And
loophole when
loophole,
you get.
the original loophole is starting up in Diamond, right? UWL.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you want, if you
When is that? I did,
think
I'm
it's,
terrible at remembering these.
I think he announced in the IWA
It's
report.
one of the J months. So
Yeah. So there it is. But all right. So a little shorter show, but it's okay. We hit the major points there. Let us know if the quality comes through. Like and subscribe. We hit 100 subscribers last
I
time,
can
so
I
yeah.
can go up. Like we can go 120, 130, whatever's needed. So,
There you go. All right. Well, thanks again, and good luck to everyone except in leagues where I'm there. So, all right. Thanks again, Aaron, for the Smoke and Death Grip shirt. We'll catch you guys next time in about 3 weeks.
all right. See you.
Thanks, man. There it is. All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. Oh, there. Good look at this quality Samoan Death Grip shirt by Aaron. Thank you again. Let me get my thing here, and boom, we're done.